the recording. We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are on chapter 7, text 5. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjun, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Okay, let's read the purport. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, and false ego. All. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, that is earth, etc., and subtle mind, and subtle, that is like mind, false ego, intelligence, are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. So, superior energy of the Lord is managing the inferior energies, which are material in nature, right? Let me repeat this. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies, that is earth, fire, all of that, for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Correct. So energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never actually powerful as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 10, 87.30 as follows. They have given in Sanskrit, I'm reading the English version in quotes. O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities are eternal and all pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are actually guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy, that is matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains the stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of the material illusion, thinks, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi energies of Krishna. And when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Let's read text 6. All created beings have their source in their two natures, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. It's very nice. Let's read the purport. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of the spiritual energy. So, this material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood, and because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Yeah. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of the super soul, that is Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form, are originally two energies of Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. Hmm. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or a big city, but he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul, and Krishna, the supreme, is the cause of the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed by Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Okay. Wow. Okay. So superior energy. So Lord is above the superior energy. Superior energy is is the soul. Soul manages the inferior energy. Inferior energy is matter. Yes. Okay. Let's go to text 7. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Let's read the purport. There is a common controversy over whether the supreme absolute truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagwat Geeta is concerned, the absolute truth is the personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse, in particular, it is stressed that the absolute truth is a person. That personality of Godhead is the supreme absolute truth, is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Padmaha Krishnaha Satchid Ananda Vigraha. That is, the supreme absolute truth personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the absolute truth is the Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. Right. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.10. I'm reading in English version, in quotes. In the material world, Brahma, the primary living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods. Okay, human beings and low. So Brahma is considered to be supreme amongst the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. Okay, but beyond Brahma, there is the transcendence, who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental, but those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. Right. So material world is always consisting of cause and effect, whether it's good or bad. If it's a good cause, effect can be anything and we have to go through it because we are in the material world. But in spiritual world, there is no such thing called cause and effect. There's nothing good, bad, nothing like that. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam, but this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses in the Shvetara Upanishad 3.9 and 10 substantiate this as follows. I'm reading in English version, in quotes. I know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest and he is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree and he illumines the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all pervading by his material energies, both material and spiritual. Let's go to text 8. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in men. Let's read the purport. This verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord can be preliminarily perceived by his different energies, and in this way he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all pervasive diffusive energies. Let me read this again. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by all his all pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water, sorry, the taste of water is the active principle of water, right? No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. This is so deep. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in water by its taste. And the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying tasty water to quench man's thirst. So, this is the difference between personalist and impersonalist. That is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and the personal conception are simultaneously present in everything and that there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya established his sublime doctrine, uh, Achintya Bheda and Abheda Tattva, simultaneous oneness and difference. The light of the sun and the moon is also originally emanating from the Brahma Jyoti, which is the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. And Pranava or the Omkara, transcendental sound in the beginning of every Vedic hymn, addresses the Supreme Lord. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkar. But they do not realize that Omkar is the sound representation of Krishna. The jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere, and one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Those who do not know Krishna are in illusion, and so knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage. Let's move to text 9. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all ascetics. Let's read the purport. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, has the flavor and fragrance in a flower or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, they're not saying pure flavor, they're saying uncontaminated flavor. The original flavor, which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhavashu means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. Correct? Even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals, and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So, Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. Right. Very deep. Let's move to text 10. O son of Pratha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Let's read the purport. Bijam means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert, birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees, plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving, some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in Vedic literature, Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Par the supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal and Parabrahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect that is stated in Bhagwat Geeta. Correct. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nityo Nityanam Chetananam Eko Bahunam Nam Yo Vidadati Kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and he alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Correct. So I am grateful that we are intelligent at least. Let's go to text 11. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas, that is Arjun. Let's read the purport. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life, according to religious principles, should be for the propagation of children and not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offspring Krishna conscious. So beautiful. Let's move to text 12. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. They are within me, but I am not that. This is super. Let's read the purport. All material activities in the world are being conducted under the three modes of material nature, which we learned earlier. Although these material modes of nature are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is not subject to them. For instance, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Correct? Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are emanations from Supreme Lord Krishna. But Krishna is not subject to material nature. Therefore, he is nirgun, which means that these guns or modes, although issuing from him, do not affect him. It is one of the special characteristics of Bhagwan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's end here with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's also do Radha Jap. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha. Hare Krishna.